off an angle.
Is it okay if I talk to you or no?
No.
It's not okay?
No, it's not okay.
I'm a G. I want you to remember that. I'm the realest.
You're definitely not a G. You're definitely not a G if you're speaking on. You're definitely not a G if you're speaking on situations that you don't even know about.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. We're giving you guys a review of Ready to Love. Yeah, baby. Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. It's Little Black Book, baby. Listen, are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Gege? Listen, woo, chile. I said, woo. Chile. If you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, you know what to do. You need to get your ass out, baby. We're about to get into this review, and it's deep, baby. Alright, cool. We're going to be talking to you guys about Jimmy and Kimber. Oh my freaking word. I don't know where to even start, blood. In fact, when I watched the whole thing through, I was confused, bedrin. I wasn't sure who I was hating, who I didn't like. Now listen, you guys have watched me since the beginning of the season, and I told you I love my girl Kimber, blood. The body crisp, the blackness crisp, the attitude crisp. I like everything about her. It's crisp, baby. But today, both her and Jimmy are on my naughty Santa list. Do you understand? For Christmas coming up, blood. Because, listen. I don't wanna know if you're playing me. Keep it on the low. Cause my heart can't take it anymore. If you're playing me, keep it on the low. Cause my heart can't take it anymore. You ain't got the minerals. That note was slightly off, but we're good. Alright, cool. So let's just begin. I want to give my overall, then I'm going to break down the video. So, my overall, at the beginning, I had this understanding that, you know what, for me, Kimber was mentioning a lot of times this ex-man that was in prison. Now, I didn't think it was too much, alright, but boom. So now, obviously, Jimmy's been asking her questions around this ex-man in terms of...
Your heart.
Jimmy, don't go there.
That's what I realized.
Don't go there.
And that's the one thing I realized about you is that you still got your heart somewhere. Because don't nobody else...
What are you talking about, Jimmy? Don't piss me off out here. I swear to God.
I totally understand Kimber's apprehension for answering this question in a public space. Because it's an inappropriate timing in terms of the space and the fact that people are around. It was inappropriate. I will be honest and say, listen, my guy Jimmy, the timing was absolutely abysmal. This should have been a conversation you should have learned from Mario's behavior, which was, let me pull you aside and let me address some certain issues. Now, when Jimmy didn't do that, what I saw was somebody who was impatient. He's impatient, and impatience, sometimes is dangerous because when the food ain't cooked properly, it can give you salmonella. It can give you some type of disease, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not cooked properly. You gotta wait till it's properly cooked, then eat. Unfortunately with Jimmy, he didn't do...
You know, me and Kimber kind of, had a little rough patch. I was trying to figure out what was the level of communication with your last relationship. That was it.
But do you think this was the time for that, though?
It probably wasn't.
That. He got a bit of the meat and chomped. He didn't cook the meat first, warm it up a little bit, get it to its proper state, and then address certain issues. Now, if you had a problem, Jimmy, yeah, listen, relationships, yeah, are not always straightforward. There are things that do come out which will hurt people, which will not be at the time and place that you want it. They don't come out the way that you want it to come out sometimes. But you are in control of you. And you must be able to be mature and address things in a mature manner. Now, when she didn't want to answer the question and she was rejecting the question that you were saying, not here, she didn't even say not here, she just said, obviously I don't want to answer it right now, Bro, that should have been an indication, okay, this girl's not trying to answer this question right now. Let me actually try and take her out of the heat of the scenario in terms of people, and let's go somewhere else, yeah? And I'm going to break that behavior down. You're going to see it, I'm going to break the behavior down. But I just want to give this overall. So for me, Jimmy, that's where you fluffed up, yeah? In the first instance. Now, my second thing is this. Kimber, why didn't you answer the question? Or why didn't you say, let's have a conversation in private? Because for me, as much as Jimmy is a prick for doing what he did, and he's a prick for doing that, for going after her in public and mentioning what he mentioned, he was a prick. But the question still stands. What is the status between you and that guy? Let me tell you something, I'd be vexed too. Listen, you're not about to come and play me. You're not about to come and be sweet, Kimber. I'm sorry. You're not about to become and be sweet, acting like you're not still talking to your ex-man in prison. Yeah? Because, and it's funny because she was dismissive earlier on, saying, I think it was when they were talking privately originally, the first time round, right? So obviously now we get this apprehension, we get this tension, we get this lack of acknowledgement to the question. The question is simple. What one for the communication with you and my man? You could look, this conversation could have easily been dismissed, finished in one fell swoop. I'm not talking to him anymore. I don't talk to him. But can we talk about this later on? You didn't do that, Kimber. So that lets me know that you got something to hide too. So as much as I'm saying Jimmy is absolutely foul for coming at you at the time he did, you didn't answer the question, so you didn't cover yourself with no glory. Now let's move on to the second scene, and we're going to break this down, but I just want to just come with the actual conversation. Jimmy, what are you playing at? Jimmy, what are you playing at? How dare you, and who do you think you are? Am I a dickhead? You're never going to talk to anybody like that, Jimmy. Never. And when he started saying, I'm a G, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Was that energy for Alexis when she didn't want to come on a date? Was that energy for Alexis when you didn't want to come on a date? No, it wasn't. It's got nothing to do with her being light-skinned. Please do not type down below. I will ignore your comment about being light-skinned. It wasn't to do with light-skinned. It's to do with the value of someone, how someone sees someone as valued, and what they perceive that person's value to be. It had nothing to do with light skin or black. It's got nothing to do with it. It's all to do with the fact of how does he perceive Kimber. And I told you this from early, that when he said in the last episode that, listen, Kimber, fight for my love, girl, fight for my love. Now, flip it back to the first scene when they're in the pool, right, in this episode. What is he do? What is she doing? She's kissing his hand.
Remember you kissed my hand, man.
I'll do it again. Jimmy and I sit in the pool and we start talking.
He's like, kiss my hand. Why? Because it's all about making sure she is adorning him. He wants to worship. Look, the Bible says here that God is a jealous God. Yeah? And if you put it in NLT, it says God is, and this is Exodus 34, verse 14. It says God is a jealous God. To the fact that he's a jealous God, he's jealous over the relationship that we have. He wants a relationship with us, and he doesn't want no one else to enter that relationship. Now, deep it. God wants worship, right? The male and female side of God makes one whole image of God, yeah? The female loves worship, right? But when you're flipping it and the man wants to worship instead, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? And someone might say that's coming with a bit of feminine energy. It's not necessarily feminine energy, it's just, it's not normal that we normally see that, right? Because it's normally the women that usually wants the worship, the adornment, the adulation, the praise for her beauty, right? So deep it, yeah, that he's flipping the role here. He's like, he wants to be the one that's adorned. He wants to be the one that's worshipped, and that's all to do with his past relationship. All to do with the fact that what happened in the past relationship has tarnished his own value in himself, how he views himself. That's why he's asking for Kimber to chase him. You understand? Secondly, also how he views Kimber. His perceived value of Kimber is not very high. No matter how good looking I think she is, to him, this is how he values her. And that's why in the scene where she's lying on the sunbed talking to my man, Kerry, that when Jimmy comes and says, I'm a G and you will never meet a real cat like me. No, Jimmy, she will. No, Jimmy, she will. Jimmy, she will. Look, Jimmy, you are not one of a kind. In fact, you're not special, my guy. You are one of many types of guy that will come along. Like, let's be real. Don't overstate your importance, bro. Like, and the reason I'm going harsh on him is because you see me this whole thing. I've been trying to keep it calm, but I hate arrogance. I hate when men try to play this arrogant. You're not that level. None of the guys in that place are that level to talk to anybody in that way. We are human beings. You understand? Treat me as such. Don't become a dickhead. That's what he became. In that moment, because of power. Listen, a lot of relationships suffer because parties are being, they're trying to acquire power. Maybe they've lost it in the past with another relationship or we're dealing with other people. And so this relationship then becomes a focal point and a battleground for achieving power. And so because they've never had power, now they're trying to strip power in any way, shape or form. You see, Jimmy, I told you, Jimmy's going to lose everything. I told you this. Jimmy's going to lose everything. Why? Because he's playing the game like an idiot. Listen, bro, you overstated your importance. You went after a girl who, first of all, wasn't really interested in you. You were batting higher than your league. And when I say batting higher than your league, the girl does not view you in her league. Unfortunately. Now, that's not a problem. You want to keep chasing that, but it's going to open some doors of problems. Now you've gone and switched your allegiance to Kimber. Remember, you switched your allegiance to Kimber. Kimber was always there. And then you switched it. Yeah? Now, when you switched it, you didn't consider her of a value. That's why you're now talking to her like trash. Because you're telling her, I'm a G. That basically is...
That's not okay.
I'm a G. I want you to remember that. I'm the realest.
You're definitely not a G.
Saying, listen, I never really considered you in the first place. I never, and he's burning inside because of the fact, yeah, he's burning inside because, like I said, when you perceive somebody not on your level and they do you dirty, you're even more pissed off. Remember, he didn't consider Kimber until Alexis finished him. Do you understand? So now, what we've got is a situation where the girl that you, and remember, he hasn't really got any other suitors. That's the last one. He burnt it out. When that girl then burns you out, bro, where do you go to? And not only did she burn you, she burnt you out in public. Now, if you had kept it calm, you wouldn't have had the situation. Wouldn't have the situation. Bro, and the thing is, again, he asked the wrong question. Now, when you...
Is it okay if I talk to you or no?
No.
It's not okay?
No, it's not okay.
went to Kimber, she just said, listen, Kimber, look, my bad for everyone. Look, can I just have a minute with you, just have a conversation? I know like what we said everyone. That was a bit mad. My bad. You know what? I really want to just explain what happened there. She might have been more inclined to have a conversation, but you went in there with some English in there that was just mad. Oh, Kimber, can we talk or not? Now, when you say can we talk or not, it's a directive. It's no longer an open, really question. Can we talk or not? Now, that looks like she's got no option, really. When you're saying it like that, you're kind of boying the thing. You're kind of moving a bit mad, Jimmy. I would have said to you, bug off too. You know what I'm saying? No. If you ask me in an appropriate way, look, my bad. Look, everyone, sorry, Kerry, apologies. Can I just, look, Kimberly, can we just talk for a minute or two? Like, my bad. Everyone was a bit hazy, was a bit mad. And I kind of overset the mark. Now, even if you didn't mean it, the lie would have been enough for you to get in. I'm not saying you should lie, but I'm just saying, letting you know, that lie would have been enough for you to get in, have that conversation. Then you could have blasted her in private. But bro, you've done this thing in public and you look like a dickhead. Yeah? Now you have to even leave the party and, you know, you're trying to spot people. I gotta go, guys. You're making a scene. Just go. You're making a scene. Just go. You're making a scene. Just go. Jimmy, just go. You're making too much of a scene.
We weren't communicating.
Hey, yo, be blessed, man.
Where you going, bro?
I just gotta pray, bro. God will never tell you wrong.
When Jimmy left the party,
I gotta spun everybody before I go. You ain't gotta spun everybody gotta go. The reason why you spun everybody to go, you gotta let everybody know that you're kind of hurt. That's why when they asked you, what are you gonna do? So you're gonna pray. Pray for what? Did you not pray when you started? Did you not pray before you got into the midst of asking us a question in front of the public? And did you not pray before you started blowing off like a madman at the poolside? So in fact you have to put your top back on. Bro, come on. Alright? So I just had to do that because this is all about power. I keep telling you, when people do stuff like this, it's because they lack power. They feel like they're losing power. They feel like they're losing grip on somebody. They're losing control. Because remember, this is all about control. Now, someone might say, this is abusive behavior. No, we're not on that level, please. It's not every time someone does something is abuse. Okay? We can't just throw that word around so easily because you learned it last week. Now you're using that word abuse everywhere. No. But this is a classic case of wanting to control proceedings. And we all do this. We just do it in varying degrees. Now what we're seeing with him is the degrees increasing. It's gone too far. And now it's showing itself in his rearing his ugly head. And so now he's showing that that degree of control. When he sees that he's lost control, he flips out, right? Because he hasn't got control of the situation anymore. Kimber is not playing ball. Because remember, Kimber was in his sights in his pockets. Remember, even when Kimber left the first time from the pool, he was all saying to the guys...
She's still with him. She's still with him. I exposed her. Damn.
Everybody, he was saying it out loud for everyone to hear it. Oh, I've caught her in the act, Jimmy. Let's break down the video. I said to you, the first kind of scene we get is when he says, you know, I love it when you kiss my hand. And that first initial thing just drew me to the attention of the fact that, like I said, he wants to be pampered. And I think I mentioned earlier on where beforehand, in the last episode, you know, he mentioned about fight for my love. Remember also that he kissed her feet earlier on as well. Like, so he does things, he's a quick mover. And he wants to get the person to care about him first before he cares, right?
Damn it. I see you shaking your head, man. What's...
I like what like me back, man. If I don't feel no flavor, I'll be like, okay, cool.
You like who like you back.
I mean, not even the littlest flavor.
I know that because I've been there. Yeah, I've been there a lot of police, I know the mindset, my guy. So, and you know that because at the end when he says, I only like those who like me, I only put that energy when they put that energy towards me. And we've heard that from another candidate before. That was Angie, right? But what that actually is saying is that I don't like being hurt. Let's just be real and open. I don't like being hurt. I don't like putting my feelings out there and it not getting returned. Now, nobody really likes that, but when you state it, it's because you've been hurt several times like that before. You put your feelings out and no one returns serve. So that's why he said what he said. Yeah. So what he's saying is, I put my feelings out there and it doesn't get returned served. Now that's happened with Alexis, and now it's happened with Kimber. Now he had an opportunity with Kimber, so he's got no excuse about saying I only like to put the energy in for those who have put energy for me. Now I understand that he's saying that he sussed her out, and I believe he did. He sussed her out. Let's be honest. Kimber playing the game, and we're gonna come on to Kimber. Don't worry about that. And then at 22, Jimmy wanted to ask about the last relationship, and you will notice that Kimber's face immediately changes. They were having a good time, having a laugh and a joke, having a banter. She's sitting on his lap. Their hands are interlocked, interwoven, just like the last episode. They're very quick, and this is a sign of people like this are a sign of what will happen in a toxic relationship. I don't think there'll be abuse, but there'll be toxic behavior, which will never really be a long-lasting relationship. If there is, it's bad for both people because both people have very high octane energies, very emotional, and therefore there's going to be sparks. You understand? So I noticed that everyone see that the interwoven of the hands. I said, okay, they're getting close, and everyone can see that they're very tactile. Yeah, because remember they've already had a kiss, and that was moved by Jimmy, right? But Kimber wanted it. Right? So we're in a position where we're seeing that there's this quick movement from them. Unfortunately, like I said, they're both emotional creatures, and therefore this has to explode. We see also as well when Jimmy mentions you texted, Kimber actually looks away, and the next response is that she's talking to him, but not with her eyes. So you see that she's looking away and in the opposite direction of him. Now that lets me know you're not about to tell the truth because you can't look the person in the face. But often at times also that means as well the conversation is a very hard one. Now you'll notice something when someone's about to talk about something very deep, they often look away from your eyes. Because it's very hard to look in someone's eyes and tell them something that's so deep about you. You want to be able to tell them, but it's showing that you're trying to conjure this thing up. You get me? So it can be either one of the two. But for me, when I saw it, I was like, Kimber looking away, just as he's asking the question, she's not trying to be honest. In fact, she's trying to ignore the question. She's trying to avoid the question. And that's why she's looking away. And that's why her facial expressions have now changed. And she's trying to say leave it without leaving it. Yeah, because what she also as well doesn't want to alarm or alert anybody else in the vicinity. She doesn't want anyone else to know this. Yeah, she doesn't want no one else to know this. Do you understand? All right, cool. She then obviously touches her shades and then scratches her nose. And Jimmy can feel that he's actually catching her out. So he's also looking up at her, and she's now putting her shades down, and then she's scratching her nose. It's become awkward. Not only that, it's getting too close for comfort. Do you understand? And she wants to drop it. She wants this conversation to be left there and then. Stop pressing it forward. Leave it alone. But he won't leave it alone, right? And so now he's got the bit between his teeth. He continues. So what does he do? Because remember, he's objective. You see, if your objective really is to try and when you think that you're in control, right? Sometimes you overset the mark. Yeah, and we're gonna see that from Jimmy. He's gonna overset the mark because this wasn't really just about a fact finding situation. Do you know what I'm saying? This wasn't just about fact finding. This was also as well to kind of draw her out, right? He wanted to see a certain behavior, and that will draw her out, and that will confirm for him that she's doing what she says she's not doing. Yeah. So, Kimber says, Jimmy, don't go there. And she's like, don't go there, Jimmy. And for me, when I hear don't go there, that's obviously an indication that this is a sore spot, right? But also as well, the question is very, very simple. Kimber, answer it. Look, are you communicating with him? I don't talk to my man no more. We are not intimate. I don't care what he does. He's on his thing. I am doing it on my journey. Like, that's the end of the conversation. That's the end of the thing. Do you get what I'm saying? But that doesn't happen. Now, I don't know if they actually discussed it in the back. I don't think they discussed this in the background because he's asking it sounds like he's asking fresh questions. So, and she could have responded, we've already gone over this. that would have let us know that, oh, okay, they've already spoke about this, but she hasn't. They haven't gone over this. So Kimber is clearly not letting us know the full details of what has happened between herself and this guy that's in prison. Now, that is very interesting because remember in the beginning I said to you, this girl wears a heart on her sleeve. She gives her heart to wrong peoples. Wrong-uns. Wrong-uns. Because she's too sweet, right? Too sweet, right? And I said it, she's the ride or die chick. She's the ride or die chick. She'll ride for you. Right, I tell you, she's got super loyalty. But for the wrong guy, it is dangerous because that guy will use your loyalty against you, and that is what she probably is going to be. That's the kind of situation she's going to be in if she's going to keep going after this guy in prison. Okay, cool. He said that's what I thought, and he realized she's got her heart somewhere else. Now it was an interesting comment because remember. This is why I said I don't like what if Kimber doesn't come out and really address this issue. I really believe that she still has a thing with my man, the old guy in prison or whatever. Because this same comment about the heart issue, remember this heart issue was also an issue for Kimber in the beginning. You know, you put some heat on him. The last episode saying obviously, you know, you're acting real slutty with your heart. You know, and it's like, Kimber, what are you doing then? Because you're saying someone acting slutty with their heart. Where is your heart at? Now we're seeing him, and now you're seeing him use that same word about the heart. Where is your heart laid then? You're talking about me, but where's yours? You were coming at me the other time, but where's yours? You understand? And at that point, that's when things really were going to go off. Something about getting big mad or whatever. I want to see you mad or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And that's when I said, obviously, when you're saying you want to see someone mad, blah, 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 it's about trying to be right. Rather than actually trying to find out the information, it's about trying to show that you know what? There's some truth in the sense that you want to find out the truth, but there's also an indication of your ego being pleased. You want to be able to prove right. Say, hey, I told you I was right. Rather than actually it being a really fact-finding mission, and that's trying to find out what is it we're trying to understand here. What is it like you're saying to me? What I've heard is that, and to me it doesn't sound like you finished with your old guy. Now, if you haven't, listen. You're going to have to count me out. Like, because I can't be dealing with somebody whose heart is elsewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a simple conversation. And when I say simple in the sense of it is a conversation that you're meant to have in private, one-on-one, have that conversation and say what you need to say, but say it in a way that doesn't kill the person. But doesn't it happen here? Yeah? It turned into a major beef that she had to walk off. And then he starts mouthing off because he has to show to everybody that, oh, I'm a man. I have the ego, the ego is inside of me, the pride. Oh yeah, I called her out. Bro, why didn't you do this one-to-one? Why didn't you do what Mario did? This is not great male behavior, man. This is poor male behavior. This is I beat my chest behavior. We don't need that. All right, cool. So I said it was interesting as well because the first thing we see is that when he does come up, so the next scene where she's talking with Kerry, catching jokes with Kerry, and that when he comes over, tops off. And like I said, the question that he asks very poorly structured. That creates a tension. You see, your words are so important. Yeah, the Bible says the tongue is like it's like fire. Yeah, the wrong word, the wrong tone, the wrong delivery causes problems. But you do it right, and it unlocks several doors. Do you understand? So when we see that with Jimmy, he had to ask the right question the right way.
Is it okay if I talk to you or no?
No.
It's not okay?
No, it's not okay.
He didn't. He came over there like he was bossing the team. Like he was in control of Kimber. And Kimber was not, and Kimber too was not having it. Yeah? She's not having it. Now whether, I'm gonna be honest, whether Kimber would ever go back, she feels like the type that would go back. Yeah? Now I know we get the next scene whether she walks away, but fam, how many girls do you know that walk away from a guy and come back? We know many. So she may come back. This is not me beefing her. This is me just being really and truthful in terms of her character and her nature. Whether she can actually really complete that, because she already stated already, you know, when you cross the line, you're dead to me, da da da. And I'm like, But then you wouldn't have encouraged a date. You wouldn't have encouraged a talk later on, maybe then. So I'm just like, we'll see. Do you know what I mean?
I'm the realest.
You're definitely not a G. You're definitely not a G if you're speaking off. You're definitely not a G if you're speaking on situations that you don't even know about. Jimmy. Okay, as I. So you can keep it moving.
I'm entitled to ask about your last relationship.
You're never gonna come across a real one like me again. Da 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 da. And it's like it's like Jimmy. At that point, Jimmy psychologically had lost the game. Okay, you know when the game goes game over. That's Jimmy. That's Jimmy. Because at that point he had lost control, and so because he lost control, we see an outburst which is not necessary, which is an outburst of somebody who's lost control, who wanted to manipulate and have the person in their corner the way they wanted to. They want to keep that person in that space how they wanted to, and it didn't work out. And so then we see the downfall of Jimmy. And like I said, this whole situation, I'm going to say this Kimber as well. Kimber needs to be honest, because it sounds like you ain't honest, girl. It sounds like you haven't told the whole truth. It sounds like your ass playing the game too. And if that's the case, your ass in the bin too. I don't like game players. I really don't. I can't. Like, I'm not here to play games. You know what I'm saying? We're old, grown folk. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say play games, like, we understand there's a game that's played inside of this arena. But to have a game from outside, girl, deal with the man issue or don't. Don't come in. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you in or you're out? Do you know what I mean? Are you in or you're out? If you're not in, listen, bruv, step out. Simple as. And that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it there. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. Me personally, I just think that, you know, Kimber definitely has something to hide and Jimmy was out of order. Simple as. But yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts down below. Comment. I know you're going to leave your comments down below what you thought. And I can't wait to see that. So, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe for those you are returnees. Share the thing, man. We're trying to make it to 20K by the end of the year, baby. Listen, are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Gay. Woo, chill.